Joining me now on set is NBC News Chief Washington Correspondent and Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent Andrea Mitchell. Andrea, thank you so much for being here. What a devastating situation that is unfolding. President Trump saying in the wake of these diplomatic talks collapsing, we could see the fighting increase. You have Emmanuel Macron saying that France is now prepared to recognize the Palestinian state. Talk about these two developments.
Well, all of these developments are incredibly troubling. First of all, President Trump certainly seemed to be indicating when he said we're going to have to hunt them down, some sort of military action, kinetic action, instead of the ceasefire that had long been hoped for, as, of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu was just here the week before last, or 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about a ceasefire. Then he said, well, it wouldn't be within days, but we hoped very soon. But all those hopes have really now faltered, to say the least. There's some hope that these talks have not really collapsed, that this is a pause, a break. Witkoff is choosing to pull back rather than staying, as some of the previous negotiators had done, and just sort of stick it out and trudge it out the way, trudge through it as Brett McGurk did for weeks and weeks on end. He obviously has a lot of other things on his plate. So that's his strategy, to put more pressure on Hamas, perhaps. But the problem with Hamas is that their top officials, it's not a problem, it's a success by Israel in terms of targeted assassinations, but they've eliminated the leadership with whom they were negotiating, both the political and military leadership. So there's almost no one now who can speak for Hamas. And you've got a lot of lone actors and all of those miles and miles of tunnels and a lot of danger for the remaining people, Palestinian, and, of course, the hostages in Gaza.
And, of course, Andrea, the question looming over all of this is what to do about the humanitarian crisis that is unfolding there. You've been pressing State Department officials. We've seen you there in the briefing room trying to get answers to this. But the pressure that's mounting, not only on Israel, but on the United States as well, to try to get food to the people who are suffering and, quite frankly, starving to death in the Gaza Strip.
Well, I mean, the Macron decision to recognize the Palestinian state, despite the fact that Mahmoud Abbas, their leader, the Palestinian Authority leader, is derided in both the Arab world and in most of the Western world for not reforming and not bringing younger and more moderate and more, frankly, less corrupt officials into the fold, which would permit and encourage the Gulf leaders, the Arab states, to come in and help take over. Despite all of that, what Israel's blockade has done is really alienate almost everyone in the Western world except for the United States. So the U.S. and Israel have jointly created this foundation. It was done with a Boston Consulting Group, which has now walked away from it, abandoned it, criticized it, because it says, as does the UN and all of these Western leaders, 28 nations, including our closest allies, as well as 100 aid groups, saying that they are violating international law and established aid formulas for delivering aid throughout Gaza, not just in the south, where Israel would like the population to move, forcing people to travel from north to south to get their feedings, and only doing it in 4 sites, 4 sites that are guarded and monitored by the IDF. Those are not the way. That is not the way aid is supposed to be distributed. That's not the way the World Health Organization did. There were 400 sites in the past. And so this is really just a trickle of aid. Jordan did get 35 truckloads of flour in yesterday, under great difficulty. But there are raids, there are riots, food riots, because people are starving, and the children are dying, and they don't have fuel for the hospitals. They are putting infants, piling them into a single incubator. They don't have enough energy. It is a disaster.
The images are just unbearable. Andrea Mitchell, thank you for bringing your reporting to us today and throughout this week. We really appreciate it.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.